All right. Hey there, guys. Here, Jared here, aka Sergeant Siage here, back again here with another video. And I literally filmed all of this prior, and then realized there's no audio. I forgot to turn the mic on. So lo and behold, here we are again. That's all right. Here, sometimes you make mistakes, and you gotta roll with the punches here a little bit. But I thought I'd go over some fragrances here today. I was going to do a separate video for each of these, but I figured, well, why not do them both in one video here, just punch it out. Spend a little bit of time with them. I actually, made a video for one of these fragrances right whenever I got it in, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to wait for the other one to come in. I got one more freshie here for the year coming in, and that's going to probably wrap it up here for the freshies. Unless something really good comes out during the winter time or whatever have you, or something that you could wear all year round. It's got a little bit of punch, similar like how Supremacy Collector's Edition came out late last year. It's got enough punch to cut through the cold. But one of these is good, and I think the other one of these is really good / great. So let's start out with the one that's good. That's going to be Atralia's Absolute Chill. And this obviously is take on Pacific Chill. Now, I've only had a few Pacific Chill dupes that I've gotten able to try. I only own two. I only own this one and one other one here, which is Bottega Azul from Anfar London here. It's kind of the teal bottle, and, whatever have you. But this stuff is fantastic here. I get, 8 to 9 hours of longevity with this. But the scent profile is where this is a little bit different from, some of the other takes here. This is definitely a more, I would say, green forward take on the, kind of matches the bottle. Green forward take on the actual DNA itself here. And what do I mean by that? Well, you're going to get a little bit more mint forward, but not as mint forward as something like Pacific Aura from Rayhan. There is a white tea note in here, which you can pick up in the background. It's sort of like a fuzzy white tea, and you do get like that apricot accord in this, but the apricot is not as, punchy as something like Bottega Azul. I think Bottega Azul is a little bit more fruit forward than anything, and this is a little bit more, mint forward and more refreshing, I would say, than that one here. Not to say that that one's not. That one still has the mint in there, but the mint is definitely in the background, and it's more fruit forward. This is sort of the inverse of that. And I think the dry down of this is also a little bit more masculine than any of the other ones here. And that's because it's, it's got musk, but I think the oak moss is what is doing it here. I think it's giving it a little bit more of a masculine edge in the dry downs here. So whereas something like Pacific Aura and Bottega Azul and so on and so forth, the one by, I forget what the one by Zamaya is called, Awatif or something like that, is a little bit more probably unisex, maybe slightly femme. I would say that the Zamaya one is probably slightly masculine. I think that's where the similarities between these are. I think this is a little bit more masculine, like unisex leaning masculine here. So whereas Bottega Azul, unisex probably leaning more femme, unisex leaning more masculine here. So projection wise, longevity, I said 8 to 9 hours. I was getting a good solid, like around 2 hours of projection here. The day that I wore it, it was decently warm, and I think it was like, cusping the 80-degree mark here. So it wasn't cold, but it wasn't super hot that day either. So keep that in mind, but it does have like that mint cooling effect whenever it does hit your skin. So on the super hot days, those are probably done here for right now, but on the super hot days for like next year, this is going to be really good. Super solid stuff. I got to spend a few days with it here. I think I've had this now for 10 days. First impressions, or like, rating based off like the first wearings, I'd probably give this like an 8 out of 10. I think it's a solid player. I don't think it's going to wow, anybody or take anything by storm, but I think it's just a solid player. I think it's a good pickup, and it's also probably going to be the cheapest out of like the Pacific Chill dupes here that have come out here. And for the quality of this stuff, that's really good. And the atomizer on this stuff is also just really good here. So you got that going for it too. Whew. Yeah. Just get that like apricot white tea, like very minty forward base here. But yeah, super solid stuff. I'd give it an 8 out of 10. We'll see if that improves over time. We'll come back to it here. The batch is from August. August of this year. So it's had probably less than a month to sit and kind of, mature a little bit. So as it goes along, we'll see. We'll revisit it here in about a month or so here, like I did with the prior video for like the July pickups here. So next up here, though, is going to be the first of a brand. I haven't had any experience with this brand prior. I think it's really good stuff, and it's kind of a take on what many consider to be a lot of people's favorite Chanel Allure Homme edition, which is Edition Blanche, and that is Amaran's Kafu. Now the bottle's a little bit tacky. I actually like the shape of the bottle and everything like that. I actually like the bottle itself. I think the thing on the front is a little bit tacky because it juts out here. So the cap has a little bit of heft to it. It's sort of like I forget what they call this stuff here. That's on usually it's on like dumbbells, but clicks into place and so on and so forth. Or maybe it does. Yeah, there we go. So super good stuff. What does it smell like though? Well, lemon meringue pie. That's exactly what it smells like. So perfect for like the spring, summertime again here. You can get away with wearing this. You can get away with wearing these any time of the year because they're inoffensive. But they're going to perform really well in the heat. That's where they're going to shine here. So spring, summer, warmer fall days here, you can probably get away with this because it has a little bit of a woody base to it, has a little bit more depth. But this stuff is really good. It shocked me actually at just how good this stuff is. I was getting, again, a good solid, 8 to 9 hours of longevity. Let's see what this batch is from March of this year. So it has had time to like sit and sort of macerate. But I was wearing it earlier today, and even in like the week plus time of having this, you can already tell that it's now that it's been opened up and sprayed, it has already started to deepen here a little bit, and it was already good to begin with. So but usually a good 8 to 9 hours, solid hour and a half of like projection here. I would say skin scent for hours 8 and 9 probably is what it's going to be. But we'll revisit it. I'll test it out some more, and we'll revisit it next month, like I said, how I did the other ones here. So fantastic stuff. I don't think you have to go too in-depth with this because it just smells like lemon meringue pie. It's exactly what it smells like. So if you like lemon meringue pie with like a little bit of like a vanilla nuance to it, you're going to like this. It's going to be really good for you. And I would say, in the base of it, as it dries down, you probably get like a little bit of cedar in there here, but for the most part, it's lemon meringue pie. I mean, who doesn't like it? And then usually like lemon-based fragrances are like kind of boring, but this one's not. This one's not boring at all. So I really like this stuff a lot. Fantastic pickup. Based on first ratings, what would I rate it personally? I'd probably give it an 8.5. This is probably like something as time goes along and I wear it more, come next month, I might bump that to an 8.75, maybe even a 9, depending on how it performs. But for right now, 8.5. Solid stuff. That's going to wrap it up here for the video. Like I said, I got one more freshie here coming in. That's probably going to be it for the freshies for the year. Like I said, unless something really good comes out during the fall, winter time, probably not going to pick it up. I got, other stuff that I want to focus on here. And now that I had like a year or two last year of doing winter fragrances, I'm beginning to realize here, this is like where you can slow down a little bit and really be a little bit more picky on what you want pick up and stuff like that. So that's kind of what I'm going to do. There is definitely some stuff that I want to pick up here for the fall winter time that I haven't been able to try. Some scent profiles I want to try that I didn't get to last year, but it's not, you know, I don't have to start from scratch like I did last year. So it's going to be like kind of spacing them out a little bit more and doing that and working with what I got a little bit more, unless, you know, I get sent something, but I highly doubt that. You know, I'm not big enough here, and usually I like to buy my own stuff anyway, because I like to be able to judge it, you know, without any bias. And I think whenever you're spending your own money on fragrances and not being sent it, obviously here you can be a little bit more, I don't know, truthful, honest, but I think you can be a little bit more stingy on your take and review of it here. So that's going to wrap it up here for today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the rest of your weekend. I don't know when this video will come out, but at the time of filming this video, it's Friday night. So that'll kind of give you guys an idea again of when I do these. But hopefully you guys have a good one. I'll see you in the next one.